Mr. Paul Galinari.
Yes, sir.
From ORYX Energy Limited. We extend a special afternoon greeting to all of you. We are indeed very much happy to receive you in our quest for an attitude on the 22nd of July 2024, the parliamentary motion was tabled in the plenary for a parliamentary inquiry on petroleum products of 36,935 metric ton of oil, which is valued at 30 million US dollars. And this was referred to Finance and Public Account Committee and Standing Committee on Public Enterprise to make an inquiry on allegations of bribery, tax evasion, and a lot of issues of compliance contained in the motion. Based on this issue, we have invited you to interact with you, to inquire whatever you know dealing with this petroleum product, purportedly coming from Apache FZC, Creek Energy, and Ultimate Grade Logistics. We have sat as a committee to independently identify all the stakeholders that may be affiliated to this, and fortunately, your company is part of it. So without wasting much time, since you have been here for a while now, I will allow the lead questioner to take us through, to lead us in the question and answer session regarding the whole show, more especially with the documents that you submitted, starting from the written statement and all those supporting documents. Honorable Fofana, the floor is yours to lead us into the question.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Mr. Jan, welcome to the Joint Committee of the Public Enterprises and the Finance and Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly. As already alluded to by the Chairman, we'll go straight with the questions. Can you kindly tell us who is ORYX Energy Gambia?
Okay, thanks for having us here. ORYX Energy Gambia is a subsidiary of Swiss group named ORYX Energy. We are in 23 countries across Africa. And in Gambia, we have almost 400 employees, around 30 stations. And we are like number 1 or number 2 in the oil and gas sector. So we pay taxes in Gambia, and we are one of the top taxpayers in South Africa.
Sorry, can you use the mic? Get closer.
Okay, sorry. ORYX Gambia has around 30 stations. When we'll get to 40 stations by the end of this year, we employ around 400 employees. We'll get to 450 by December. And we are one of the top taxpayers, paying around 100 million to GRA on a monthly basis. So we are a subsidiary of ORYX Energy based in Geneva, and we are in 23 countries across Africa.
When was ORYX Energy registered in Gambia?
I think we purchased Atlas around 2017 to 2019 after different share purchase.
Can you tell us what is your line of operations in the petroleum industry?
We have different line of business. We do aviation jet fuel for the airline, the airport. We do lubricants. We do LPG, meaning gas business, different bottles, 2.7, 6, 12, 55 kilos and bulk. We have a jet kerosene depot. We have a lubricant depot. We do retail station, and we do also business to business, meaning the big customer, the likes of NAWEC, RSK, and so on, in the ministry, and different part of the government. We give them coupons or we sell them coupons.
Let's clarify this. Honorable Bauka, you made mention of you are operating 4 countries or 4?
23 countries
23 countries.
in Africa.
In Africa. Right.
Do you know Creed Energy?
Creed Energy, we purchase fuel from them.
You purchase fuel from Creed Energy?
Yes, sir.
How do you come to know about Creed Energy?
They approached us when the country was, I think, at one time, they had, whether it was Creed, Beige, and Apogee, the depot was full of their product, because when we applied for unit, they will tell us, well, the depot is full. They will tell who owned the product. They will say it's Creed or Beige. That's how we got to know them, and that's how we got to know them.
When was this precisely?
June, July.
June, July of?
2023.
2023. So you make inquiries at the depot. You wanted to store petroleum products?
It's our daily job, because we have between jar oil, star oil, we have to inquire to know, because the depot is not that big. So if you have a vessel coming, you have to ask, what's in tank? Who owns it? How long will it be here? I have a vessel coming, so they will tell you who owns the product, what is there.
So basically it was the depot who informed you about Creed Energy?
Yes, sir.
To be specific, who did you contact in the depot?
Well, the depot, we have me as a general manager in ORYX. We have operation manager, we have finance manager. It's our operation manager who contacts their operation manager.
Okay.
I'm not in contact directly with the operation manager, but I'm in copy of the emails. My operation manager will call and request for ULH to their operation manager.
So, do you have documented evidence of the response received from the depot indicating that Creed Energy was having, in storage petroleum products?
Well, they will decline our. It's funny, they will decline. Let's say I'll request 5,000 ton. I'll tell them I will need 5,000 ton on July 21st. They will decline it and say I don't have space, or they will allocate it to you. So when they decline it, you will ask them who owns the product. They will tell you, but they will not send you a written statement. They will only revert to you if they decline it or they allow it. But they will not tell you on paper who owns it. But when we do meetings, we know who owns the product.
Who would normally respond to those inquiries?
The operation manager at the depot.
The operations manager at
Petroleum.
Now let's get to Creed. You said Creed Energy were having petroleum products at the depot?
Yes, sir.
Who would normally have petroleum products at the depot?
Well, it's the depot, whoever the depot is the depot management, sorry. The depot, Petroleum, they have a management, and I guess they're the one that allow who's going to be storing product in their depot.
I mean, in the petroleum supply chain, who would the depot give approval?
Well, the international trader and the company that are in Gambia.
International traders?
And if you need to have also a contract with the depot. We do have a contract, a throughput and storage contract with the depot.
We'll get to that. We just want to establish Creed Energy. You said the depot would normally allow international traders?
Yes.
To store petroleum products at the depot?
Yes.
Is Creed Energy an international trader?
Well, to be honest, sir, I did not looking at their business. We do the KYC, look at what they do, but we don't look at them as, how can I say it, fierce competitors or something. We mind our business and we get the throughput and we do our business.
When you did
it was a new player to us in the business.
When you did the KYC, what were you able to make out of it?
Well, it was a new player coming in Gambia and bringing products.
They were bringing in products? And
they were allowed to store product and sell. So it's above, I think, our pay grade to see who's doing what and where. But what we know that they were storing product at the depot and selling.
And you did buy petroleum products from Creed Energy?
Yes, sir.
From the depot?
Yes, sir.
And Creed Energy, did they give you release orders in their name when you buy petroleum products from them?
Well, the release order, they give the release to the depot. They don't give us to us. We cannot tell the depot, give us product from Creed. They have to give the instruction. So they have their line of communication. they will say release to ORYX 1,000 ton or 2,000 ton. They don't want giving the instruction to the depot.
But in all the instances that you bought petroleum products from them, they give release orders to the depot to release the products from them.
That's how it works.
Do you know a company called Ultimate Veg Logistics?
Yes, sir.
What was?
We bought from them too.
You bought petroleum products from them?
Yes.
How did you come to know about Ultimate Veg?
It's the same modus operandi I told you about. Veg you asked earlier, Creed and all the same. It's the depot.
That is after I put
Any player that brings product to the depot, we are entitled to know. Because you have your product also, you don't want anything to be mixed there too.
And would it be the operations manager again?
That's their job description, to know everything.
Did you buy petroleum products from
Yes,
Ultimate
sir.
Veg?
Yes, sir.
And in the instances that you bought from them, did they send release orders to the depot?
Yes, sir.
And you received your fuel?
We did receive the fuel and paid for it in check.
Do you know a company called Apodi?
Yes, sir.
How did you come to know about it?
Same explanation. It's the depot, and we know, and they give the release instruction to us. We make the check, and they release the product to us, and we dispatch it across our network.
Okay. Now let's take them one at a time.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with Creed Energy. When you bought the petroleum products from Creed Energy,
Yes.
did they give you an invoice?
Yes, sir.
Have you made submission of those invoices? Do you have one of them with you?
We submitted all our invoice, whether it's Ultimate Veg, whether it's Creed Apogee, or it is Apogee. We submitted all the invoice, and we still have a copy here if you didn't.
Once they submit those invoices to you, where do you make the payments? In which bank accounts?
To the bank account on the invoice.
To the bank account on the invoice?
Yes, sir.
So now let's be specific on the instances where you bought from Creed. I can give you one example from the Excel sheet that you've attached. Go to the Excel sheet that you've attached.
Okay.
For example, on the 18th of July, 2023,
This is 27.
allow you to go through that Excel sheet.
Yes, we do have all of them. It's right here.
Okay, just go through the Excel sheet. Give us one instance where you bought fuel from Creed Energy.
We bought 674 metric ton.
Which date was that?
18th of July, like stated, in the July 27.
Yes, but if you look at the supplier there, it's not Creed Energy. Look at the supplier.
Let me have the invoice of Creed. This is the commercial invoice, let's say for the 27th. It's have it Creed here.
Yes. In your Excel, can you read from the Excel?
Creed Apogee.
Why did you call it Creed Apogee?
No, it's just maybe a typo or whoever's typing it, but the name, we have the commercial invoice from them. When you have it, this is from us, this is not from them.
Yes. What I'm asking is, in your internal records, why did you reference it as Creed Apogee? It could have been Creed XYZ, Creed E.
Because we, three of those, this is the same company almost, or the same people you're dealing with. So maybe whoever was typing it in the finance department referred as Apogee, but it doesn't, maybe it's a mistake or we'll link it, but the invoice and his name on the Creed.
You just
And you have it bank access bank, Kairaba.
okay, before the banking, let's decipher this first. You just said it's the same people you are almost dealing with.
Yes.
Can you tell us what you mean by that?
No, I mean, whoever is selling, if Creed is selling, or Beige is selling, or Apogee, it's the same people that are selling to you. Maybe they have 3 subsidiaries or they have 2 companies, but that's what we noticed. But what came out from our supplier department, our internal, they could call it, maybe she's used to see Creed or it's a type or something, but it doesn't somehow link them. But the company name is Creed.
Okay.
And the check made to them is under Creed.
Okay. Let's finalize the identity of these companies. When you were doing business transactions with Creed,
yes,
who did you meet?
Arimos, what is his name? Arimos. Yeah.
When you are making business transactions with Apuji?
We met them the first time. Sorry? Yes, sorry.
When you were buying this petroleum products from Creed, who did you meet?
Arimos.
When you were buying petroleum products from Apuji, who did you meet?
Same name.
Who?
Arimas. That's it, correctly.
When you were buying petroleum products from Ultimate Gauge, who did you meet?
Arimas too, and Apuji.
Arimas too.
Yeah, sir.
So which means all the three companies, they have the same representative.
Yes, sir.
But the invoices that are issued by Creed, who normally signs them?
Clement Nana Adu Korante.
Have you ever met Clement?
Yes, sir. They came to the office also. The first meeting they came, they introduced themselves. We talked, and at some times they were the only one having fuel in the country. And that's how we met, and we handed them over to finance department for the paperwork.
Did you make any inquiries or ask any questions when you realized that you are dealing with three different companies who are represented by the same individuals?
Well, we asked them.
Who did you ask?
Both of them.
Who and who?
Arimas and Clement.
What was the response?
It's their company. It is their company. They own it.
Which company did they own?
Ultimate Beige, Creed, and Apuji.
Ultimate Beige, Creed,
and Apuji.
Mr. Jai, is Apuji the first petroleum trader that you've dealt with?
No, we dealt with many traders.
Can you give us one?
In Gambia, you mean?
Anywhere, maybe in Gambia or outside, any petroleum trader?
Well, we deal, as ORYX, we buy exclusively from ADAX.
From ADAX?
Yeah, but if ADAX doesn't have any space to come to Gambia, we buy from anyone, Trafigura, we buy from Senegal Oil, Libya, we buy from whoever is allowed to sell internationally and in Gambia.
And the payment method and the nature of the transaction you have with ADAX, is it similar to the one you have with Apuji, Creed, and Ultimate Gauge?
No, with ADAX we get credit of 90 days.
No, but should you be invoiced? And if you are supposed to make payments?
Yes.
Credits would be special offers given to you with regards to the arrangement you have with the businessman. We want to look at the nature of the transaction itself.
Okay.
You said you were dealing with three different companies represented by one person, the same individuals. So we want to know whether that is the norm in the petroleum trade.
Well, you can have one big company and have, I cannot explain what is in their due diligence or how they set up their company. But bottom line is, that was the three company owning oil and gas, AGO or PMS at the depot. So I don't know what's in those companies. It's not my job to look in what's really in, but we dealt with those. We bought product from those less than 8,000 total for all transaction. And we paid check according to the commercial invoice we did get for all transactions.
In simple terms, I would ask this. Is it normal?
Is it normal too?
The way and manner in which you were invoiced, three different invoices, by the same individuals.
Well, if he has three companies, I don't know.
No, but as a businessman,
as a businessman
in the petroleum trade,
you see it sometimes. People have subsidiaries, have different names in the subsidiaries.
Why would he use 3 different companies to bill you for the same product that he is having?
I could not answer that, sir.
But as a company, were you not obliged to know?
As a company, what we are obliged is to know who we deal with. They came, they met us. We checked at the depot if they own the product. The depot told us and certified that they own the product. We checked with the bank. We met the banks to check if they have bank accounts there. We made the payments. We didn't go and just open the tanks and get the product. The depot released the product to us, and we put it to the disposal of the Gambian through the network. So what we did, whether someone has many subsidiaries, like in one company you can have different subsidiaries. You can take ORYX Energy in Geneva. They have the trading arms, they have the real estate arms, they have the retail arms, they have the solar arms. So I will not be explaining those 3 companies, what they have inside. But in a business term, one person can own 3 companies.
But would all of these 3 subsidiaries of ORYX prepare different invoices for a particular trade?
As long as it's not forbidden by the law. Let's say ORYX Energy Geneva, others can give me an invoice. And another ORYX Senegal can give me an invoice. But if you're saying the same person dealing with 3 companies, but they will sell it and we will buy it, and they will in Gambia, they will register I believe in Gambia.
Among these 3 companies, who owned the petroleum product? Who owned the petroleum product?
Well, the one doing the release. If, for example, I'm getting 650 metric ton release to me, I'll assume that Creed own this product. I don't know what arrangement they have between them.
Yes, so it is your submission that Creed Energy, we are having petroleum products at the level.
Since they released the product to us through the level.
And also it's your submission that Ultimate Beach, we are also having petroleum products there.
Since they released product to us through the level.
And equally it's your submission that actually was also having petroleum products. Yes, Mr. Jai, based on your submission, you made unit applications on the 11th of July 2023, and again, on the 12th of July 2023, you made another application for 6,000 metric tons. On the 1st of September 2023, you made application again. But all of these 3 applications were denied.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us, in the first instance, why were they denied?
Well, when we made the application, like you say, Your Honor, was it July 23, September, and all this application was denied because the depot told us they don't have space for us.
Can you take us through the application process?
Like every month or every 2 months, I know what I'm going to use through the depot, through the network in Gambia. What NAWIC need, the government need, and everything. So I'll forecast my needs in general. So I will tell them, I will need you to come to Gambia with 5,000 tons of gas oil, 6,000 tons of PMS, and so LPG. But the depot will ask us to write ULH authorization. That's the process. So we write to the depot, and we are not the only one applying. And according to the product they receive and the vessel arriving, they can deny it or say yes.
How much is your monthly focus in terms of EMA and PMS?
Right now we do almost 4,000 metric ton of gas oil, almost 2.5 of PMS, and jet kerosene depend on the season, up and down. We do minimum of 500 tons to 2,000 tons on jet kerosene.
For how many months have your applications for ULH been denied?
I think there was a period is between July and September, October 2023.
July 2?
11 July 23 was the first one when we applied for 5,000 ton ULH. The vessel was supposed to arrive on the 15th, and the depot denied it and gave the 11,000, the whole village was given to Abuja. July 12, we applied again for 6,000 to arrive at the end of July. Even if they had a space of 10,000, it was denied also, and it was given to Abuja. It's all the correspondence we sent you. September 1st also, we applied for 5,000 on arriving in the mid-months to put it in across the network for Gambians. It was denied also, even though they had a space for 9,000. We applied for 5,000 and it was denied.
In response to the denials regards to the village application, you did write a protest letter.
Yes, sir.
Come Petroleum.
Yes, sir.
I will refer you to page 2 of your submission.
Okay.
The first bullet point, you said we also urge Mr. Yorojalo to understand that his refusal to grant village for able to ORYX Energy Gambia Limited was to give preference to Apodi, who had no investment in the Gambia.
Sorry, you're saying the village purchased September 2022?
In response to the denials of the village application, you wrote a protest letter.
Okay, go ahead.
And in your statement, you gave us a synopsis. No, I'm directing him to where I am. Yes. Look at your letter, you dated about us.
Okay, I'm listening, sir. Yes. Yes.
Go to the second page. Okay, the first bullet point. I will allow you to take us through that first bullet point and you add context to it as to what you meant. Where it started that we also urge Mr. Yorojalo.
Second page. Second, you urge in you want me to read it?
Yes, please. Yes, the first one.
Okay, we urge Mr. Yorojalo to understand that his refusal to grant village for gas oil that we call AGO to ORYX Energy Gambia Limited was to give preference to Apoji, who had no investment in the country, in preference over an established registered Gambia business. He relied on a decree requiring ADAX, our supplier, to apply directly, so he could make reference to why Apoji was given the space that all players should have a fair share too.
Let's concentrate on the first sentence, where you indicated that denying ORYX Gambia established business in the Gambia, denying their village, and giving it to Apodi for Apodi investments in the Gambia was unfair. But what are the industrial standards with regards to the application of village and its approval?
He should be in any country in this oil and gas business. I've been 30 years in it. I still do Senegal, Nigeria, many countries. It is done through market share. Like if you have 40 stations or you do 60% of the market share, your allowance should not be with someone who's a reseller. So in the industry, the practice should be in market share and size. Because if you bring a vessel of 5,000 tons and you sell 500 tons a month, this space will be taken for 6 months. Unless you switch your product and start reselling it to competition. So it should be done through market share, checking whoever's doing what, and also keeping a space for the small players.
When you say market share, in direct reference,
if you look at it, you can say Star Oil, Jar Oil, or Castle Oil, whatever they're doing in terms of volumes, and the capacity of importing.
So in specific terms, you mean the market share of the OMCs?
Yes, sir.
In this case, it's Abuja and OMC?
Well, I would call the OMC someone who brings the vessel and distributes it through his network in Gambia.
Yes.
So far, I haven't seen any Apoji station or business in Gambia.
Which means Apoji is not an OMC.
I would not call it OMC personally.
So, in that case, if Petroleum does not recognize standard, so
It can be a trader. We can have traders coming and selling the likes of PSTV and Traffic Road.
but with regards
It must be the trading arms. It's different from the marketing company. The OMCs are the oil and marketing companies operating in Gambia and paying taxes. Like we do pay on a monthly basis an average of 100 million. Last week we paid 102 for GRA. We'll call the OMC the oil and marketing company, the players in Gambia. It's different from the trading company.
I'm taking reference from the response.
Yes, sir.
Other of you indicated that you've been in this state for over 30 years.
Yes.
Currently, as you said, you are doing Senegal, you are also doing money. And you said allocation of units is based on what market share of what the local players. So that's why the initial question was whether Apodi is an OMC. And it's been established that they are not an OMC. Now, with regards to the international players, how much percentage of the unit is given to them based on standards?
Depending on the size of the tanks, let's say in Gambia we have 11, you should give them 20 to 25% max for 11 amount.
20 to 25% max?
Yes, sir.
Which means that in that case, 75 to 80% should be reserved for the local OMCs.
Yes, sir.
Now let's look at the situation at the depot. If that industrial standard was adopted by the depot, would you have been denied?
No, sir.
Were other OMCs having unit approved at the depot at that time?
I remember discussing with Jawal, it was getting denied also.
Yeah, but you were denied.
Yes.
So is it your submission that the entire storage was given to Apodi?
The entire storage was given to operation.
In the same bullet point, it was suggested by the GM of Petroleum that you ask your international trader Alex to directly apply for unit. Was that done?
Yes, sir.
What was the outcome?
It was denied too.
It was denied. That denial, to that denial you made a response. And the committee has interest in this line. Why you said, we make him understand that we knew the reasons why he had rejected Alex, even after they had made their direct application. Can you add context to that statement? What do you mean?
They asked Alex to apply. And I think we fill out all the criteria to get some space. But whether we apply as ORYX Gambia, whether others apply, both were denied. And when you deny it, you have almost 400 people having their job at risk, because if you don't have products in tanks, you don't have products in your stations, you cannot sell to Gambians. So what do? You have to, whether you shut down your station or you try to find a plan B sourcing.
Yes, those are the risk exposures.
Yes.
But what we are trying to get at is, you said that you understand why Alex was rejected. So we want to know what your understanding was.
Alex was rejected because the depot was full of apologies for him.
Alex was rejected because the depot was full.
Yes.
Then why did they ask you to make an application when they know that the depot was full?
I cannot speak for him, sir.
So your understanding was that the depot was full even before?
Sometimes the depot is full, they will deny you. Like we say with the letter we send, sometimes you have space, they will deny you too. Because maybe another vessel is coming.
You wrote a letter to Cuba on the 11th of September 2023.
Okay.
Do you know?
Yes, Pura.
Can you tell us the circumstances leading to your entry into Cuba?
Because we believe Pura are the regulator in the country, from the presidency to the ministry, to PURA is here to regulate the oil and gas business. So when something we believe is not fair, we have to let them know, to inform them.
And what exactly was not fair?
The space allocation, the ullage allocation, the way they were distributed, the ullage, we found it was not fair.
And after writing to PURA, did they respond?
Yes.
In writing?
They wrote and they sent a letter to the depot asking them to distribute the ullage fairly.
And did that response have any impact?
Not at the first time. The complex we have, like you said, it was September 2023. I mean, they didn't comply the first time, but at the end, they start hearing that everybody was complaining. So, but they didn't respond positively to the first letter of PURA.
Precisely, which one did PURA respond?
PURA, I think it's September 20th, 2023. Complaints on ullage allocation interim orders in measure.
After that,
Yeah.
After that, did you make any ullage applications to the depot? After that,
Yes, sir.
did you make any ullage applications to the depot?
Yes, sir. And it was denied.
It was denied. After the response of PURA in September, precisely which month did you start having approvals from the depot?
I think it was by the end of the year, November, December, we start getting small ullage.
By small unit, how
Yes.
much do you make?
2000 PMS, 2000 AGO, small, quite small.
In comparison to your previous approvals,
In comparison to our approval and our needs, because we bring the products to put it in the Gambian market. We don't export it anywhere. It's fully local, 100% local.
I mean, this 2,000 metric tons approval that was given to you,
Yes.
we have to compare it to the previous approvals that you used to have before July.
It was smaller.
Was smaller. How much in quantity you used to your previous approvals before July?
5,000, 6,000, depending on space, 4,000. I mean, 2 is very small for a vessel to come all the way just for 2,000.
On the 14th of September 2023, you did also write to the Competition Commission. Can you tell us
It was to complain about those practices.
which practice in particular?
Ullage allocation.
Unit application by Gulf Petroleum.
Yes.
Did the commission respond?
Yes. Yeah. They respond positively and they asked them to. They responded on September 20th.
Can you take us through that letter? Please read it for us.
The complaint or the letter from the Gambian competition.
The letter from the Gambia competition.
They acknowledged receipt of our letter of protest dated September 11 against the unfair allocation of ullage to critical players in the petroleum sector of Ghana Petroleum Depot. Your concern will be reviewed in line with the Competition Act 2007 for necessary action. We will communicate it in due course for the next action. We look for your cooperation. That was the first response.
Did they send you another response different from that?
They invited us for a meeting.
When?
The letter was on September 20th. And the meeting September 25th, which my operation and retail manager attended because out of the country.
Can you tell us what was the unfolding during that meeting at the Competition Commission? And what conclusions were reached with regards to the ullage approvals?
Actually, I was the one that went to the Competition Commission for this interview. So we basically interviewed to give evidence of how everything transpired between us and Petroleum. So I was able to give them all the evidence we had at the time.
the refusals, the spaces that we knew was at the depot at the time, and how it was becoming more fragrant and deliberate for all the deniers. So they told us that, okay, they will hear from all the parties. And we were very happy that eventually they were able to come out with a report.
Did you come out with a report?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that report?
Yes, I have it.
Is it part of the submissions
No.
to the committee?
No.
Chair, I would propose that we request for the conclusions of the Gambia Competition Commission. And then, Mr. Chair, the report of the Gambia Competition Commission on the issuance of village at Petroleum. Yes. No, they will formally put something. Yes, that'll be great.
Yes, I can give you a copy. We have to.
That's true. Perfect.
Yes, we have to.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
On page 2 of your letter dated on the 30th of August 2024, the submissions you made to the Parliament. The last paragraph on page 2, I will read it for you.
Yes.
It said on the 31st day of October 2023, we received some correspondence from the Minister of Petroleum and Energy initiating a very strange policy, which we felt was a decree to legitimize the preference given to a project. This is indeed an appalling allegation. Can you substantiate that? Can you substantiate?
Yes, I'm coming.
Can you tell us why you believe the policy was to legitimize the preference given to a project?
Well, Apogee has no investment in Gambia. We have young Gambians, men, women, working, getting salaries and paying tax and contributing. And why we felt it was not fair is someone who doesn't live one kobo in the country, doesn't have any investment. We pay to GRA and we pay to the tax, and we are one of the number one or number two GRA taxpayer. So when you have over 400 people feeding their families and taking money home, doing business legitimately, we did not see what investment they did in Gambia. Something visible. You can see something that's thoroughly developed, Castle or Jalway or ORYX, but we did not see anything. So when a player comes in the country, we have to look at what do they bring for the country. What we do, we have more than 400 direct employees, and we keep growing and growing. So it is not fair to jeopardize those people's job.
Let's go through the policy itself. Mr.
Yes.
Take us through the policy and tell us why, in your own words, you said, one, the policy is very strange, and two, it is to legitimize the status of Apogee. What is the policy say?
Now the policy say that's the government policy on storing and lifting product. One, they say encouragement and facilitation of access to petroleum products stored in the country as storage terminal. Second, establish a sufficient, reliable, sustainable supply for the country. I mean, my first language is French, but sustainable is something I believe that lasts. Not someone who will come one shot or two shot in the country. That's number two in the policy. Number three, importation, lifting of petroleum product for national and domestic use. They don't lift for national and domestic use, they just come to sell. Promotion of re-export of petroleum products. We don't do re-export. Everything we bring is exclusively for Gambia. And the last one is compliance with national laws and process for both non-resident foreign national and valid license holders shall comply with the relevant laws, fees, competent entity in the country.
Can you give us number one again?
Encouragement and facilitation of access to petroleum products stored in the country at storage terminal. Yes, sir.
How do you relate this to Apodi?
How do we?
How do you relate this to Apodi in particular? And why do you believe this was a framework to legitimize his status with regards to the preference given to him? Let's take the first one. Where is the facilitation of petroleum products storage at the depots?
Okay.
Why do you think that policy?
Well, I mean, the policy is clear. You rate product, you get ullage. According, you have your license. You bring the Gambian specification to make sure when you go at the station or when we put fuel in your generator, it is compliant, it's not going to get wasted. You bring it, you distribute it, and you sell. In this case, Apogee was not a distribution. They just dump it and go.
Okay.
So I would not understand why you take 11,000 to 20,000 tons of ullage, you give it to a sole entity when you have so many players in Gambia. It's hard to explain from the depot why Gambia Petroleum will give 20,000 ullage allowance to one player while the rest have been here for 10, 20, 30 years in the Gambia, having hundreds of employees and many families to take care of.
You understand that. But now the question is this. The policy framework came on the 30th of what? October, to regulate the petroleum industry. Not so. In particular, how can petroleum is going to be what? Operating.
Yes, sir.
Your description of that policy is that, one, it is very stage. This is what you said, and I'll repeat it. You said, on the 31st day of October 2023, we received some correspondence from the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy initiating a strange policy. Maybe I will help by asking this question to read. What was the policy there before the 30th of October?
I mean, the policy, we had a clear allocation of ullage, and suddenly it disappeared. You can have a policy, but what are they doing on the ground? That's why we wrote to the Commission of Consumer Affairs, we wrote to Bureau. If the policy was clear and run on the ground, we would not wrote to Bureau. That was the complaint because they were getting all the ullage.
Now you make us understand. Two things. The first one will be, what was happening with regards to the distribution of ullage at the depot?
They were preference
before Apogee coming in the scene. And to direct this, the first question I would ask is, who does the application by them? Who was doing the application?
from outside.
In general terms.
ORYX will do the application, send it, my operation manager will apply to their operation manager. And they will look at their ullage, they will look at their space, they will look at their commitment, and tell you, I can give you 5,000, I can give you 4,000.
And in general terms, we will consider ORYX as an ONC, right?
Yes, sir.
So are you saying before it was the ONCs who will do the applications?
Yes. Yes.
To Gambia Petroleum?
Yes, sir.
Was there any moment in time when your international traders made applications on your behalf at Gambia Petroleum?
It was changed at Gambia Petroleum request.
Can you take that again?
Well, they wanted the traders bringing the product to upline, not us.
No, what I'm saying is, before Apoli coming in, or before this shift in policy,
Yes.
we want to understand what was happening at Ghana Petroleum. And you said it was the OMCs who were applying.
Yes.
That's why what is happening.
No, on our side, I don't know what Castle was doing or either my friend was doing. What we were doing, ORYX Gambia will apply at Ghana Petroleum, and others, our trading arm, which is in the same company, will bring the product. That's how what we was working. That's how it was working.
Yes, and we will concentrate on you. That's why I asked you this follow-up question.
ORYX Gambia will ask for UH to Ghana Petroleum. They will allocate it or deny it.
Now the question is, was there any moment in time that your supplier, others, made applications for UH?
Before? No.
Good. So now, when Apodi came, did they come through any ONC?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
Not to your knowledge. As far as you know, who was making the applications for UH on behalf of Apodi at the depot?
Honestly, I don't know. I will tell you if I know. Honestly, I don't know. You have to ask to Ghana Petroleum allocating UH.
Do you know who was doing the application on behalf of Crete? Because you said you bought from Crete as well.
No, buying from them, I don't know the internal process.
Do you know who was doing application for Ultimate Beach?
Same answer, no.
Which means both for Apodi, Crete and Ultimate Beach, you can't tell. But what you can say for sure is it was the OFCs who were applying.
Yes, sir.
And Apodi, you do not know of any known OMC who they were partnering on the ground. Is that right?
Yes.
So now, Apodi, are you there?
Yes.
Apodi, on the petroleum supply chain, will you call them a trader, an OMC, or a distributor?
Well, distributor, you have to be local. I will call them a trader.
You will call them?
Trading company.
You will call them a trading company. So your frustration is preference was given to a trader and not an OMC, right?
Frustration because the whole unit was given. We don't mind when Jawai has it, or Castle, or Starway. The frustration came from you could not bring any product. It means there was just one supply in the country, and you have to buy at their terms and conditions.
That's what you mean by preference.
Yes.
Preference was given to an international trader and not the OMCs, right?
Yes.
Can you tell this committee what potential risk exposures that have on the OMCs and the petroleum supply chain in the country?
Well, the risk is, it is their terms. You have to buy according to their terms. For example, if you look at the monthly price structure in the Gambian price structure, you have a fixed dollar rate. They can tell you today is 60, but if equity was different, it could be 61, it could be 62. It could be a risk for the country shortage of dollars, or we have one of the biggest network. If we run dry, what do we tell to hospital? We furnish fuel to hospital and so on. I think it is not safe for a country to rely on one supply. And at the end, when we couldn't import, you can import from Senegal or another country which is more expensive, stock loss and all this stuff. But sometimes we even purchase at a loss to make sure our customer got some product, because we could not leave our station dry.
Now, in absolute terms, how was the pricing of the project in comparison?
The Gambian price structure was better.
Was there,
Yeah.
in terms of?
Dollar rate, for example.
When was it better?
I think you can refer to the Excel sheet,
Yes.
where you have the exchange rate per dollar. Look at the first line, you can see the government price structure rate is 61.53.
Sorry.
This one.
Yes.
If you look at the government price structure on a monthly basis, the first one was 61.53.
Yes.
And we bought from them at 62.5.
Okay.
And so on, 61, because it's always higher. You look at the last one, it's 63.64 in the official price structure, and they will tell you, I'm telling you at 65.5. So you take it, it's a loss, but you have to buy. Otherwise, if you buy coupons from me, I took your money, I cannot tell you, I'm not going to tell you, sir, so I have to sell.
Is it a loss or finally you transfer the price to the customers?
No, we cannot transfer the price to the customer because the market is regulating and there is a pump price that the government allow you not to go over. If the government say this month of September is 83, not because I purchased at 65, I'm going to go sell at 85 or 86. It's against the law. We don't do that.
Did you bring this to the attention of Bureau, to the attention of the ministry?
Yes.
And also the attention of the Competition Commission?
Yes, sir.
The ministry in particular, what was their response? Or did they respond to you?
Well, I think I've seen one response, but there was no concrete action against that. Because you can tell with all these transactions, I think there are like 16 or 17 transactions we did with them we purchased less than 8,000 tons, if I'm not mistaken, less than that. The dollar rate has always been higher purchasing from them compared to the government Gambian prices. So they were dictating their price structure.
And you were forced to comply.
We have no choice.
What was the minister's response to that? Is it part of the submissions you made to us?
Yes.
It's part of the submissions. Okay. As a committee, we look into that. Purpose.
So if you look at on the 30th of October, Ministry of Petroleum, this one.
Yes.
We had a meeting there also when we talked, and they say you notify that ORYX has been selling above the authorized fuel price structure. They asked us to bring and we give them different. And concerning your asset, ORYX is an operating without license. Please refer the Honorable. And they say, the minister say, international traders are not required to hold a license to store the product in the depot directly to sell in the buyer. ORYX is classified as an international trader, and such as doesn't need a license because we made many complaints there. Why, thank you for your cooperation. So, but it was nothing concrete. It was a meeting that we had at the ministry, and we told them they are selling above the regulated rate.
So which means the response from the ministry does not delve in to ORYX selling above the central bank.
That's the only response we get. That's the October 30th.
As an entity, do you have a tabulation of the losses you've made as a result of the experienced price differences?
No, price, you have to take it then from your margin. It's a reduction, like where you're supposed to make $5 for each liter right now, like you will make 2 or 3 because it was taken from the retail. You're not making a loss on yourself. You're shrinking your margin. When the government authorized everybody to have only $5 per liter, you will end up depending on the price and the dollar. You make it 1 or 2 because you have to deal with transport and so on.
Now let's go through the example. I know you did say that ORYX were not registered in the Gambia. Right? You did say that they are not registered in the Gambia.
Yes.
And they do not have an entity.
Yes.
Let's look at the transaction you have with them on the 14th of August 2023. At this point now, we are interested to know where the money is going.
Where our money?
Where the money you are paying him, where it is going. That's what we want to know. On the 14th of
Yes.
August 2023,
Yes.
you bought 674 metric tons from Abuja.
Yes.
Worth $573,250.
Yes, sir.
The dollars equivalent was in excess of $35 million.
Yes.
And you paid to EcoBank.
Yes, sir.
Which account? And the account in whose name was it?
In the account on the invoice. Look at the invoice. Yeah, what is on the, to be exact, August 14. Because you receive a commercial invoice and there will be the bank.
August 14th, I have it with me.
Yes.
The commercial invoice is
Right.
Can you take us through where you have the account name? Give us the account name.
Okay. On this invoice, the commercial invoice came from Apochi.
Yes.
You have the bank address, the account number, and the account name was opened on the ultimate page Apochi FZC.
Ultimate page Apollo FZC.
Yes.
Yes. Can you take us through the one on the 21st of August?
On the 1st of August, we purchased 674 metric tons. Unit price $845. Invoice amount over $500,000 at EcoBank also.
Yes. Where was it paid?
It was paid at EcoBank according to the commercial invoice. Ultimate page Apochi.
Ultimate page Apollo.
Yes, sir.
All these ones I'm reading, I just want to know the account name.
Yes, account name, ultimate page
Account name
Apochi.
and the invoice. Invoice.
Yes.
All of these ones are reading. Apollo will give you a physical invoice, but the actual payment you are doing it into the ultimate page account.
According to the invoice, yes.
According to the invoice. Now, give us the one for the 15th of September. That one also the invoice was sent to you by Apollo, right?
Yes.
Give us the name, the copy that invoice.
25 September is ultimate page.
No, give us the copy that invoice you.
Apochi.
Apollo
FZC.
FZC.
Yes.
In which company's account did you pay the money?
Account name, ultimate page Apochi FZC.
Let's take the one for the 4th of October.
Apochi FZC. Account name, ultimate page FZC.
Again, Apollo invoiced you using their own letterhead, their own invoice, right?
Yes.
And then you make payment
Made the payment.
to ultimate page coming
Yes.
at EcoBank. Give us the one for the 5th of October as well.
Apochi same.
Yes.
This is 250 metric tons.
Yes.
Apochi FZE commercial invoice.
Commercial invoice, yes. Payment.
Payment to ultimate page Apochi.
Which bank?
EcoBank.
EcoBank. 9th of October.
Apochi 250 metric ton of gas oil.
The commercial invoice is
Commercial invoice Apochi FZC. Paid according to the invoice. Ultimate page Apochi EcoBank.
At this point, I want to ask you, ultimate page and Apollo. In legal terms, are they the same company?
Well,
In legal terms.
in legal terms, when you see the name Apochi FZC, you might say it's subsidiary because if that's two different companies, we will not say they are taking some money, because they open the accounts on the ultimate page, Apogee, and we met with EcoBank, with all the banks to double check the names, and it was confirmed.
Yes, but you've been dealing with Ultimate Page as a separate entity, right?
Yes.
At the level of the committee, we can give you privileged information to let you know that Ultimate Page has their parent company in Ghana.
Okay.
And that parent company owns 90% of the Ultimate Page in the Gambia. Apogee FZC are registered in Dubai, in the future. Creek Energy was registered in the Gambia in 2021. And the shareholders in Creek Energy are totally different from the shareholders in Ultimate Page. And the shareholders in Ultimate Page are totally different from the shareholders in Apogee. So in absolute terms, the committee can tell you that the relationship between these three companies is not that of the parent and subsidiary.
Well noted, sir.
So in that case now, I would ask you this follow-up question. As a businessman, have you ever bought from any company who requests you to make payment in the accounts of another? Or will ORYX sell fuel to me today and tell me to be a customer?
When we first saw this invoice, we asked them the link.
No, I'm just
saying, when as a manager, when we saw this one, we asked them what is the link. So we paid to Ultimate Page, and Apogee gave us the release at the depot. So if there were two different customers, Apogee would not legally be able to release the product from the depot. Because everything we paid for, we did get.
As a company, we are cognizant of the fact that you are not privy to what arrangements they might have together.
Yes.
And as a result of that arrangement, you can pay to B for products owned by A, B will acknowledge payment and issue release to you. So we will not put that on you. But the fair question we are asking you is, since now you know very well that the relationship between these three companies is not that of the parent and a subsidiary, would you tell us, is it known in business for such a transaction?
Well, if you have the same person, the same company, the same headquarters, you won't think it's an affiliate.
The information I've given to you now, if you had known this by the time you were transacting with them, would you have done the transaction?
If we knew it was three different companies, we would have done it.
So we would have done it.
No, sir.
Which goes to say that if you had known that the relationship between them was not that of the parent and a subsidiary, you wouldn't have done it. Which goes to say that the transaction and the nature in which they control their finances was not correct. Am I right to say that?
Well, we can say it's not confirmed. I cannot say it's illegal. Depending on how they, in law and jurisdiction, they have many ways to do holding, subsidiary. I'm not a law expert, but I cannot say that's illegal or it's not confirmed. But what we dealt with was the same person, the same headquarters, and the product was being released by the depot.
We are not talking in legal terms here. We've told you that we've got absolute evidence on these three companies.
Yes,
that they are totally different. And if I ask you the headquarters or the registered offices of, where was the registered office of Apogee located? You said the headquarters were located. Where was the registered office of Apogee?
My finance manager was doing the my operation.
Yes, can you tell us? you normally meet Arimas?
Actually, Arimas was at Kokosh.
Was at Kokosh. Where do you normally meet Clement?
Clement came to the office.
Where was his office?
I wouldn't know.
Where do you normally meet the people from Ultimate Village?
No, it's still Orimas that comes, that
goes to you. So do you consider Kokosh as their official address?
Yes, certainly at the time, yes. That's why we can locate them.
So what I mean is, would you consider Kokosh as someone else's private, physical, official address who is running business?
I wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think so, right?
Yes.
So which means they do not have an address?
They have an address at Kokosh, that's the address he gave us. So whether that was an office or not, that's a matter for interpretation.
No, what we are saying here is, the submission you are making is, both three companies have one registered office. So now we are trying to verify their office. What Arimas had in Koko Ozone was his hotel room.
Well, that's some information you're giving me now.
No. You said he was at Koko Ozone, right?
Yes, that's the location that he gave us.
Koko Ozone.
That's why we presented.
Sorry, Koko Ozone are into the accommodation business. What we know is they do not have space to rent, to establish entities, right?
Yes, I didn't know that. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know that. I'm just dealing with the location that he gave me, and the location was the address at the time.
Sorry, let's get this straight. What is the business of Koko Ozone? What do they do?
Of course, it's a hotel. We all know it's a hotel that sell out accommodation.
And what does hotels do? They sell out accommodation.
Yes, but they also host other events or business entities.
How many times did you have contact with Arimas at Koko Ozone?
All the times that we had transactions with them is listed in the Excel.
Let's say minimum 17 times.
Yes. No, not minimum, exactly 17 times.
Exactly 17 times.
Yes.
Fine. So, all of these 17 times, you were discussing on petroleum products.
So we only meet him to effect payment for supplies that he would release or give instructions to the depot.
When you meet normally, where do you sit?
Sometimes we meet at the bank.
No. At Koko Ozone, where do you sit?
Where do I sit?
Yes, with him.
I just met him on the phone, and we'll go together to the bank to make the payment.
You met him at the hall. Will you consider the hall an official place?
No, I said that is not
No. Answer the question.
Yes, I'm answering the question.
Now you answer it correctly.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And fully.
Yes.
You can go to that.
Yes.
Okay? Would you consider that hall an official address?
The hall cannot be an office.
No, answer the question. Will you consider it an official address? Yes or no?
No. For me, no.
No.
Yes.
So which means they do not have an official address?
I wouldn't know.
I will agree with you. It's a lot. Maybe you will not match what we call an office where we have the reception and everything. But that's what I will say at difference of ORYX. Can I just let this 1 minute, sir?
You may go.
I will accept what you say. It's not a conventional office.
No, not even a traditional
Traditional office, but that's how the business was. We had an entity that came and that took over the Gambian facility, that took over the Gambian village. You have to buy through that process. That's the first question you ask us. What were the different risks? These are the risks. If you don't go to Koko Ocean and bring the check, none of your station will get 1 liter. So that's the first question we ask. What are the big risks? These are the risks. You have to go through the terms and conditions, meaning you have to give him the check where he wants you to go. You have to go, otherwise it's dry. At the end, it was just a matter of survival. We pay in our GRA. We make apogee. Who's at the depot? And the depot recognize apogee. And you have to pay. You say, I'm a Koko Ocean, you just come, you pay, and you go with them at the bank, you get your product. I understand what you're saying.
We understand fully well. This is the situation of this thing. You see, two rights are not belong. Yes. For example, if you look at your invoice dated on the 21st of August, that was on Apoyi FZC. That is equivalent.
Yes. Yes.
The dollar equivalent is in excess of $35.6 million. That is huge. That is significant. And if you look at the invoice itself, there is no physical address in the Gambia. On top, the only thing it is having is Apoli LZP. The footnote, the address it is having there is their registration number, their trade license number, all address in the United Arab Emirates. Which means the country is telling you, we do not have any physical place in the Gambia. So this is the point. In as much as we know that village application, the process, there are frustrations. But as a people also, we take responsibility. Because when you are pumping in almost $6 million, that's a bit of concern.
It was a concern, that's why we wrote to the minister regarding their practice.
So now,
and that they didn't have any physical investment in the Gambia. An office is an investment in the Gambia.
thank you. My final question here, Ude. Had you been aware of all this information before dealing with Apoli, would you still deal with him in the same terms and conditions?
I mean, we have a depot. I understand your question, but let me just elaborate 2 minutes if you allow. If the Gambian country give all the allocation, it means it was authorized from top down. Because no one can just bring a vessel in Gambia and just store it at Ghana. He was authorized to store, and he was authorized to sell, and he was authorized to open a bank account. And we were told that he owned the product. So we marketers, we had no other choice than buying from him. We were put in a corner. If we didn't buy the hospital or the school, nobody will have fuel. So we had to buy from him. If you don't buy, you have to write to the minister saying, I need authorization to import by truck from Dakar. And they will not authorize it if we have product in tank. So you have no other choice. No other company will say, I'm not buying because I see apology and I see creep. You have to buy almost by force, otherwise you shut down. And if you shut down, all the contracts you have with your customer, they can take you to court. Saying, you signed a contract to supply me, and you are not supplying. So they will take you to court. It's the same for aviation, it's the same for B2B and B2C sector. So he was the sole player, and everybody had to buy through him.
Yeah, I said last, but this is the very last one. Do you have experience of any other traders who were selling above the normal exchange price rate?
In Gambia?
Yes.
No.
It was only agreed.
Yes, sir.
The rest were all selling in accordance to the official rate.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chair. George.
Any question, for Fana? Now open the floor for questions. Starting with the vote. Yeah. So the men let us be precise. Final question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Just some quick question, which is when it comes to where Mr. Honorable Former left. Yes, I just want to ask this question quickly. ORYX being an international company that we said exists in more than 20 countries in Africa. Is that correct? 23. Now, as an organization, do you do due diligence when you deal with institutions anywhere in the world? Yes, KYC. Okay. Now, in this instance, the dealings we had with Apoji, Creed, and all of them, have you done any due diligence to understand, or KYC to understand them?
Yes, our department, the finance department, the KYC with their passport, everything was provided.
Now, do you have a copy of that? For example, maybe the results, because normally when you do a KYC, you have a document showing that the KYC was done and people are asking a customer. Do you have that?
No, I won't get it to you. You don't have it. I'll ask my finance manager to put it to you.
Thank you. Now, in the Excel sheet, that shows a summary of the products you purchase transactions.
Yes.
There are two rows that I'm interested in. One is the exchange rate in north, and the other one was government price structure rate. Can you help us understand these two, the exchange rate and the government price structure?
Okay. The exchange rate, every month you will have a new exchange rate set by the ministry. So they will say September, the price structure will be 83, and let's say the exchange rate will be 62.5. So all transactions for this month have to go, let's say, you say which one was entered, let's say, the first one, July 12th, the exchange rate, the government price structure is 61.53.
Yes.
How we calculate the price structure, we go to N-1, N-2, we tabulate like the 30 quotation, we do an average, and they say this is going to be the next price for September 1st to September 30th. And they say 61.53 and your selling price is 82. That's how you have a quality price. And the second one, when you have exchange rate 62.5, that's the rate maybe they will buy at the black market. I can hear you.
Thank you. Now, so the product structure of the first item, which was 61.53, that is the government price.
Yes.
And the 62.5 is the exchange rate given by who?
No, exchange rate, this is the government price structure. The exchange rate 62.5, that's the invoice that's on this one.
Yes.
That's the price on the commercial invoice.
Yes. So, can somebody bill above what the government is actually giving you? Because if you say the government price was 61.53, but then you are buying at 62.5. Is that normal?
It's not normal, and we complain to the ministry for that.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, and if you continue, it seems that it was the trend that government will give this rate, but then you end up being invoiced more than what the government actually has said.
Yes, sir.
Now, did you bring this to the attention of the ministry or Bureau?
Yes, we did. We had correspondence we put on our file too.
Okay. Now, the last question I have was about the denial of usage, for example. Now, this denial, was this actually forcing your hands into buying from a coach?
Yes.
So essentially, if you have usage, probably you would have ordered from somewhere else.
If we have usage,
yes,
we exclusively buy from our trading company.
Okay. So, but because of the lack of usage, then you don't have to buy. There was no other choice.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jai, my first question will be, with all the challenges that you've been having with regards to the payment to the Apoji guy in the hotel, and all the challenges that you've been having with regards to the business, have you ever put this to the Ministry of Product?
The challenge would like the exchange rate and so on?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Not only the exchange rate, but you know, Keval or Mr. Fufuna was asking you about the guy that you paid, or you always take to the bank to do the payment of the products that you're supposed to buy before giving the supply. You know, that was the challenge to your company as well, isn't it?
Well, we complain that they don't have any investment in Gambia.
Yes, but you put this to the administration, you know.
Yes.
What was their response?
The response, that's what we read, or that's the response of October 2023. That's the one I read. I can read it again if you want, but there was nothing concrete on it.
Is this part of the documents that have given to you?
Yes.
Okay.
It's this one.
Okay. And also with the on the spreadsheet of 25/9/2023. So under the exchange rate is empty, and of course the invoice amount is also empty. And there was a bank transfer. Why did that happen? Why is it blank?
Okay. If you look at that, that's the only space you do not have anything on them. This was paid directly by government. People.
Yes. Yes.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Njai. I want to get to this, where you clarify to us, Arimos, that you normally meet at the hotel, go also at our hall and discuss the transaction based on payment, where likely the payment will be done at a bank. During that period, how many times of occurrence that you've met with him at the hotel on that transaction and paid this? If so, at your level or in ORYX company, do you have any, sense of suspicion that this is abnormal so far the business of oil is concerned? Looking at the deals that you do in oil traders.
Thank you very much. If we see, this is very clear. We have seen how these people have been legitimized in this country with all the correspondence that we have put before you as evidence. So, we are not the regulator. ORYX is the regulator. We are not the ministry that is responsible for our industry, is the Ministry of Petroleum. We have seen the correspondence that are coming from the institutions legitimizing these people. So we have also laid the frustrations that we have gotten, and we've been called to buy from these people. It's very clear, and he has said it. And it's in our correspondence that it's a state of monopoly. We have no other entity to buy from than to them. So we will call and get an invoice. When we got an invoice, we prepare a payment. And when we get to him, we go with him to the bank and do the payment. And that is when they will give instructions to the depot to issue an ITT, in-time transfer.
Just to add, sir, that's the answer of October 30th. What the minister, when we say apology is when we complain many times, they say apology, our complaint is operating without a license. Please refer to the honorable letter of the minister dated September 14, which communicated government policy that international traders are not required to hold a license to store products at the depot and directly sell a buyer. Apology is classified as an international trader, and as such does not need a license. When you get this from the ministry, you have to buy from them. That's all. Okay.
Yes, the other thing also, as a company, going through, let's say, an employment of 400 Gambians working in this country. And you see that preference monopoly of one taking the whole day. What setbacks during the period of these issues running from the ministry, poor reporting, writing and out? What setback of losses economically have been faced in this right moment? If you could.
We have to slow down all our investment in Gambia because our goal was to do maybe 6 to 7 new stations. We could not finance it anymore because we were at the mercy of the dollar rate. Because if the price structure says 61, we pay 63. When the government says you are making $5 per liter, when you remove transport and letter of credit and so on, when you're supposed to make $3 in your budget, you're only making 1, so you don't have room for investment anymore. So what you do is you're making sure your customers are getting what they pay for, and you're making sure also your people get their salary.
and hoping that this wave will go through and the truth will come out.
Yeah, finally, I want to get whether if I have you clearly, you can correct me if it's right. Were you one time got a chance of getting unage at that Petroleum before this monopoly? If it's so, how will you remove in that getting space so as is it a project or whatever percentage that they've monopolized the deal and say, okay, how will you do? We want to establish how will you?
I think during 2022 and 2023, we all had this dollar crisis in the world. With the former vice president also, we had many meetings, and we were all short of dollars. So we owed almost generally over $40 million. So the trader will say, I'm not bringing a vessel till you pay me. And all those delays, every month they will pay more interest, late interest. So we were paying all those late interest. So on the meantime, we will buy Comasri or Java or someone else. And when the depot got low, and that's how they came in, 20,000 one shot. So it's like if they have units of 10,000, 11,000, you are negotiating how to pay because you have to pay your supplier also. We don't get this product free. So if you don't pay on time, and you lay maybe Java is facing the same, Star is facing the same, when the depot get to 2 or 3, someone dump 11 or 12, that's how it happens. When we had no product, they came and they used to all the space. That was during the dollar crisis.
Economically, see, Emily said we lock product with the trader. So when you lock this product with the trader, whether the product is in the country or not, you still need to pay that price. So if you do not have an image, and because the product is not being product here, sooner or later, the trader is still going to force you to take that product at that price. So if the price structure in Gambia is very is indifferent to that price, you have a very big loss that you incur. If MD would tell you we have lost almost over.
Yeah, it means, for example, we are in September. The product I'm selling now, I booked it in July and August. So in July and August I booked it, I say I'm buying so for Gambia and I give my means of payment. The trader will book it. So when the vessel comes in time of discharge and the depot say, you don't have space for you, so the depot will say, I'm going to come back. So when they come back, let's say in December or in October, and the price is lower, they will not charge you $70. They will tell you, you purchased it when it was 87. So we have to take it and sell. That's why I say sell at a loss. So when you say the loss, we lost over $5 to $8 million on that. On late deliveries, if we say late deliveries, because your product is supposed to be sold from September 1st to September 30th. According to your vessel is here on August 31st or before. But if your vessel come on October, and in October the prices go down, trader will tell you, that's not my concern, you book the product. So those are the losses we did face, and we swallowed it and we still here.
Thank you very much. Okay. I want to know whether this act of monopoly of awarding the capacity of the ORYX space to one company and no one parties in the business.
No, it's not a normal in the industry because no country will risk their sustainability to one person. Because let me give you an example. If that person tells the depot, don't release my product, nobody will have fuel to go to work. The hospital will not have fuel. The hotel industry, nobody will have fuel. We cannot survive without fuel. So I've been an MD, for example, in Nigeria for 8 years. That's the biggest oil and gas in Africa, and nobody has a monopoly. Even Dangote doesn't have a monopoly.
Could there be, fuel crisis during the period that necessitated this session?
Yes, I think we are all witnesses to situations where we have stock out in the country, and it is the ORYX, not any other trader that brought product into this country. So wherever we have a situation in this country, it is the biggest ORYX that will import product overland from Senegal to this country and save this country. Even during the COVID-19 crisis, it is the ORYX that saved this country.
The reason was where there was oil crisis.
It's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
And also to give you more explanation, you have to book the vessel coming. You cannot just wake up and tell Geneva, I need the vessel tomorrow. Because they have to come to Lomé, they have to West Coast coming. So if the depot doesn't give you ullage on time, you cannot book it. I cannot call my chairman general telling them I need 2,000 tons today. You have to book it ahead. So if you book it when he's going to Senegal where he can dump 50,000 tons because it's deeper, he will not come to Lomé for this 1,000 tons or 2,000 tons ullage. So what you will do, like when we have issue, we take it on us. Currently, Petroleum right now, they cannot give you jet kerosene. What we're doing, we import it from Senegal because their tanks are contaminated. So what do? We're going to import from Shell Senegal or Oil Libya Senegal on our own expense, paying transport, paying storage, because what? Because we don't want the customers to be dry. That's what happened in the ORYX. When you have a depot and they say no product or this is, you have to have contingency plan. It is going to Senegal or maybe ANC.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Jai. I would like to know whether there is any union among the OMCs in the Gambia. Do you have a sort of union?
We meet often, but not formalized, but it is being formalized.
And based on your experience in the oil industry, so is it normal in the oil industry in the petroleum industry rather, to operate a business without having a physical address in the country?
I don't know what your question actually refers to, but we all have our individual locations and addresses, all the OMCs, yes. If you talk about one body, of course, that's in the making, but we have not come as an organization to form one group, no.
What I'm saying is that, you know, like this Apodi,
yes.
Mr. Clement was operating without an office, physical office, physical address. Is that normal in the petroleum industry?
Yes, I don't know what is more normal when you're a minister or a ministry legitimize someone to do business with. So sometimes that's why I don't understand what he was, because we have all seen correspondence. There are evidence and facts before everybody here that the ministry is legitimizing someone we should do business with. A monopoly is created for all the businesses to do business with that entity. So what more do you want us to do?
So it's announced our answer, like October 30th, the same letter when we complain about office and license is the same letter which is on the file. Outcome of the meeting held on October 20th, 23. Request for documentary evidence and clarifying the status of approach, because we did complain verbally in the meeting about their office, about their lack of license and everything. And this is the letter that came to us. So when this letter came back, we did not have the choice than just purchasing from them.
Honorable Cham, I refer you to the letter, the correspondence that we have made, and you look at all the stakeholders that are put in this country. I think that will solve your problem.
No, in fact, I don't have a problem, Mr. Njai. What we are trying to do is already, yeah, we don't have a problem here. And you don't have to be defensive. So, but where I'm heading to is now to question, another question, supplementary question. Which authority is responsible for the registration of both international traders, distributors, and OMCs operating in the Gambia?
We have the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, and we have ORYX. Those are the two entities regulating the country on. And we wrote to the highest, I think, authorities, which is the Minister of Energy, about our concern. And they came back to us kind of legitimizing, saying they don't need a license. What they have is international traders are not required to hold a license to store products at a depot or sell at a buyer. Because what happened, they were not only selling at the end to big players. At the end, we lost almost 40% of our business-to-business customers because they were going through us anymore. People that were buying through us were going through them. So many people were going, it's not only us. You can see all the small players lining up there to get 1 truck, 2 truck, taken to Faratini or Birkama. It's not only the big players. At the end, when we import 5,000, we can sell 500 to the small ones. At the end, they took over those small ones. So not only we lost financially, but we also lost our customer bases, the lack of many independent customers, which we will take the financial risk and import.
Okay. Well, another thing that surfaces is the issue of policy on village. Who makes those policies? And are the OMCs represented in those policies?
No, the policy is made by the government, the ministry, and the government, all this stuff. The regulator is poor. We only have one regulator in the country, is poor.
You said who is responsible? Is it the ministry? If they are responsible, I think they have a question to answer here regarding to the ULH, allocation of ULH. So that's why we need to know who is responsible for.
Who is responsible for the labor? If I can direct you to the directives and the measures that PURA communicated to the depot, it is clear that PURA should regulate that, and I also advance some recommendations as contained in the communication that we have gotten from them as a report.
Thank you.
Yes, Madam Chair, I have 3 quick questions.
Quick questions.
Yes, unless the answers are not really trying to make it quick. The question is, earlier in your deliberation, MD, you indicated that you are one of the biggest OMCs in the Gambia.
Yes, sir.
And paying a tax amount of $100 million. It is monthly. Is this correct, sir?
Yes, the GRA.
The GRA. So that would tell us that you pay $1.2 billion annually to GRA as tax. Is that correct?
Yeah, on average basis.
Thank you. And is this correct that you pay your partners when you buy fuel from them in check? This was said in your earlier deliberation. Is this correct?
Yes.
In check?
Depends on the means of payments available. It can be LC, letter of credit, or bank transfer, or check.
So what are the traders that you need to pay internationally?
And what we instruct EcoBank to pay it.
They send the wires.
Yeah, they send the wires transfer. We don't open LC because it's a parent company. They give us a credit of 60 to 90 days. And when it comes, we don't pay, they charge us late fees. But it's the bank paying on our behalf, the local banks. EcoBank, Access, or GT banks.
Okay. Both of you have talked about monopoly during the period in question right now with the trader in question, Apoi. would you remember if there was any point in time before the advent of Apodi, there was a monopoly in the system?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't remember, because I'm the one who is requesting it from the depot. As and when it is needed.
How long have you been existing?
For the time we've been in existence up till the time that they have said we could not apply it directly, we should ask the trader to do that.
How long have you been?
That was at the advent of this policy.
How long have you been existing?
Since 2017, as ORYX, sorry, there was no monopoly at the time.
There was no monopoly since 2017.
Yes.
There was no monopoly at the time. Okay, you talked about your investment, which you plan to do about opening 7 new stations
This year.
and which was not possible earlier on because you lost some businesses.
Yes.
Like you were.
The margin eroded.
Yes, perfect.
Sure.
You know, and which was not possible. Are you able to do that now after Apodi left?
Well, we're still recovering because we have to build trust with our traders.
Are you able to do that?
No, we're moving slowly. I mean, you have to build trust with your traders. How to do it? You have to make money to build. How to make money? Let me just learn. I have to convince others to still come in Gambia because they are not happy. They say we're not coming anymore in Gambia because he will tell you you are doing 80,000 to 100,000 dollars a year. Maybe you're the biggest player in Gambia, but in his book, that 100,000 he does it in a month in Nigeria. So he will not take the risk of coming being denied UH or product stolen or something. So you have to build trust. That's what we're doing. To build right now, currently we're building 7 stations. And by God grace, land that you buy, you purchase, employ Gambian company to build it.
I'm trying to look at you have tried to build stations now after Apodi left.
It's going faster.
It's going faster. How many stations have you built?
3 last year.
3 last year.
Yeah, and 7 this year.
And 7 this year.
Ongoing now, 7.
7 ongoing.
2 will be delivered next week and 5 by December.
Is there any regulation as per how much station you could build a year in the country?
No, before building you have to buy the land and go through all the process authorization. It's very hard. You have to go to PORA, the NEA. You cannot come and say I'm building 20 or 50.
Do they do vetting with respect to your environment?
Exactly.
You build under the
National Environment Agency.
Environment and all that.
Yes, sir. It's a very tough process. You can be denied and say you cannot build it or something. Or you're too close to some houses. There's a big process you go through.
So to build a station, you start from Pura and end up at Pura. How do you start at Pura? You probably assess if the site that you have identified is suitable for a petrol station or not. If it is suitable, then you have to meet the NEA to do the EIA, and then you have to meet the fire service to do the certification, and you have to go to physical planning, and then you now go back to Pura to present all the certificates, and Pura can give you a construction loan.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I never heard about when do you have an importation plan?
Application plan?
Plan, yeah. You said you will make a forecast based on your distribution needs.
Yes.
So do you have an annual importation plan?
When you apply for importation license, there is a requirement in that structure where you need to put your import plan. Yes, that's how we got our importation license.
How does the one apply your importation plan?
Actually, we were left at the massive, we could not. We could not. this was very, very clear.
But in absolute terms, maybe how is just another minute. You are also a guy, right?
Yes.
You see, at the level of this committee, we have an open mind, very objective. What you might know would help us a great deal in establishing the truth. What you feel, we are not feeling it. Even if we feel it, we detach it from our emotions. Because our responsibility is very cardinal. To unearth the truth, the entire truth, neutral and unbiased. So if we ask you questions, don't think that we know it, or we are diluting it. We are asking you the question because you are in the position to tell us what it is. I don't know. I just want us to be at the same wavelength. So it's not a question of I don't know what they are asking. If you do not respond and you go out and you tell people they are legitimizing Abuji, who do you blame? You blame yourself. So please give us the answers. How does it affect your importation plan? Without emotions, just the facts.
It affects your whole budget, the whole bottom line. You lose over 43% of your budget because you lose customers and you lose margin. When you lose margin, you cannot raise salaries. When you cannot raise salary, you cannot give bonuses at the end of the year. You cannot pay, we have to stop loans. We give free loans to our employee. We have to stop that process. We give free loans for education. We have to stop that process. We lost 43% of our business on the P&L because those customers went to Apogee, which was not paying any taxes in the country. We have to comply and pay X, Y, Z. And therefore, we have to respect the price structure. If ADAX come and deliver a product he was supposed to deliver 3 months ago, I'm taking that loss. I cannot say, okay, you decided to be 83, I'm selling it to you at 93. Because why? Because the government says it's 83, I have to respect the price structure. So those losses, we will swallow it. And when we have board meeting and budget meeting in Geneva, we still have to legitimize why they should do business in Gambia. So the bottom line, like you say, we lose businesses, and we lost almost 43% of our business-to-business customer basis. And in terms of net bottom P&L, we lost over 40% of what we were doing before.
Thank you. Chairman, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Jai. Earlier on the committee, you made clear and also, I don't know, maybe you cannot provide it now, but it could be an interest for the committee to know the first day you met with these people, the first day, you can remember. Then my second question is, can international traders bring in products and dump it at GB without any relationship with any of the local OMCs?
That's the first. I'll check with our finance and security staff the first day they came into our office. I'll check the logbook and we'll forward it to you. And regarding evidence and clarifying the status of Apogee, we asked the minister. What we did get, they say international traders are not required to hold a license to store their products at a depot. So it means from the minister, international traders don't need license to come to Gambia. They can just come and dump it and start selling. But to buy we need a license to operate in Gambia. We need license to open our station. But an international trader can just come and bring his product to Gambia if they have an agreement with Ghana Petroleum.
Now, I'm talking from your own experience, whether it is possible for them to bring their product in the country like Gambia without having like a local partner, either ORYX or any of the OMCs?
From my experience, anyone bringing product to the country, you have someone vetting you. It's like when you asking for a visa, they ask you for a letter of invitation. You bringing this product for who? Who's going to buy it? What are respects? That's the norm.
I
I say Sewu.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, the MD and the team. We really want to thank you for your compliance and commitment to unearth everything related to this investigation, which we really appreciate. For now, finally, we are getting closer to this engagement, unless if we deem necessary to re-invite you to come and shed light on any issue that comes along the line. But other than that, we thank you so much, and but there is a lot provided for you in the canteen, since we are subject to a lot of questioning. And I know the stomach may be.
No, next time, just move the AC.
Okay. Do you have anything to tell us?
No, thank you very much. We appreciate what you're doing, trying to shed lights, because many people will say we'll make millions. By the end of the day, business is to make millions, but you have to comply with the laws and regulation of the country. That's what we call a fair race. If us as MD, we fail, we get fired someone. But we cannot compete with someone or some organization that are not respecting the rules and regulation. So thank you everybody for trying to bring it in. We're always available for any question. And if you forget anything, we apologize, we can send it back to you.
Yes, thank you so much. That is why we'll be requesting the correspondence between you and the ministry. And also the letter from the ministry claiming the international traders.
We can give you these copies.
I have it here, I can give it.
Yeah. I can look at it now.
We gave her the two correspondents.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
From there, you may leave.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, already we have custom. Okay, yes, if you want to go.
Madam Go. Order.